Good evening and welcome to EBTV's coverage of East Brunswick High School athletics. Tonight from J. Doyle Field, football against Sayreville. Hi, I'm Ken Saroka along with Richie Whalen. And Rich, it's going to be really unusual to look down on that sideline and see a brand new head football coach.
Yeah, you're right. Marcus Borden, obviously, fans that follow East Brunswick, was there for 25 plus years. He's moved on, and now we have new coach Bob Molars, who had a lot of success at Carteret initially, and then the last few years at St. Joe's building up that program, and this is his first year here at East Brunswick.
A little bit of a different circumstance, I guess, in the type of athlete and the type of offense. We were talking down on the field about a sudden change in direction with this offense now under new coach Molars.
Yeah, especially if the first game is any indication. East Brunswick played Sunday because of weather on Thursday night against South Brunswick, and according to the newspaper, only about 20-something yards rushing and almost 170 yards passing. So that's something that you didn't really see too often with Marcus Borden in East Brunswick. So that's something to look for and to see what they do tonight.
You mentioned the short week. Thursday night's game was postponed due to that heavy line of thunderstorms that rolled through. But because of the Jewish holidays, they had to move the game off of Friday or Saturday into Sunday. And now we have a short turnaround. Can you really prepare? I mean, you've been through that with the Thanksgiving Day game, coming off of a Saturday and then coming back on a Thursday to prepare, to kind of cleanse yourself of that loss in the first game, and now preparing for a brand new challenge here with Sayreville?
I think as a player, you like that. That's less practice for you. As a coach, you always want more time to go over what the other team does and things like that. I always like, especially after a loss, that the quicker you could get out there, the better. Although, East Brunswick with the new coach, you want all the days you can to not only learn the other opponent, but also get used to the offense and defense that the new coach brings in.
And you mentioned Sayreville, with the strong record that they've had over the last 3 years, being a very formidable opponent, always seems to give East Brunswick a lot of trouble.
Yeah, at Sayreville, undefeated last year, won the state title, and they have some key players back. They have a couple running backs, a good wide receiver moved to quarterback, and they're coming off a loss. They lost a good Old Bridge team and gave up in the 30s, and last year for the whole year they gave up 91 total points. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what Sayreville has out there, but I do know that in the skill positions they do have some talent.
Sayreville coming off a loss too, that should give them extra incentive to right the ship, as it were, early in this season.
Yeah, and if you look at the schedule, East Brunswick has a tough schedule, so there's really no easy games for East Brunswick. So, South Brunswick's a good team. You have Sayreville. There might be a couple games in there that East Brunswick can really look at and say, we got a good chance. But a lot of tough teams, in Sayreville, is one who actually Sayreville was ranked in the Star Ledger preseason #1 team in the area. So.
All right, and we'll be back with the coin toss and all the opening festivities in just a moment. And we are back live here at J. Doyle Field for the first home game of the 2013 football season. Hi, I'm Ken Saroka along with Richie Whalen, and our EBTV technical crew out here for the first time as well. Give them a shout out at this point. We're coming out a couple hours before the game time, getting all set up.
And we'll have in a minute the captains go out there for the toss.
And East Brunswick coming into this game with a record of 0-1, loss on Sunday.
And there's a look at the new head coach for East Brunswick, Bob Molars, on the screen. Actually last week, Carteret and St. Joe's played each other, both the two places he coached before there, with St. Joe's beating Carteret, which according to the preseason rankings was a little bit of an upset. But St. Joe's has a good running back that's back for them this year.
Are you surprised that the powers that be went outside the district for this position?
I think they were looking for the best available coach. And obviously if you look at his record, which I don't have in front of me right now. I know he does have a very impressive record.
Yeah, there was like 64-21 at Carteret, or 64-25 or something. Yeah, it was very much positive record there.
Yeah, actually, I'm just looking also now. I see the North Brunswick football coach here scouting. East Brunswick will play home next Friday night against North Brunswick.
But when you look at the schedule, no real easy games. I mean, we were talking off camera about how Edison beat Piscataway.
Yeah, so
Piscataway's a little bit on the downside, I guess.
Yeah, if you're East Brunswick, I think you really have to look at this stretch here. Sayreville, who might be reeling a little bit just because of their loss, but then North Brunswick, who I think is a team that is beatable at Monroe. I know they're won the first week, but I think that could be a game that they could maybe get. And then, if you look at their last 3 games, at Edison, at Piscataway, home against, Old Bridge for the Thanksgiving game, and then that Manalapan game that's in there, they have, one of the top wideouts in the state of New Jersey who's going to Rutgers next year. So they're not easy out. And then J.P. Stevens, who's struggled a little bit the last few years, has, a stud running back. So, there's no easy games really on the schedule for EB.
All right, captains will meet at midfield.
Okay, let's go, guys.
One thing to keep an eye on also, we were told right before the game that for Sayreville, number 12 Malik Presley, their quarterback, who I guess last week suffered an ankle injury, so we'll have to see whether or not he's able to go. We were told he might, if he does play, it could affect him a little bit, or they might shut him down. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well.
For the Bears out there, captains John Gerhardt's number 5, Kyle Kelleher number 13, Michael Quinton 50, and Doug Scott number 78. Let's listen in on the coin toss.
Back to the huddle, receivers, chase the ball. Unless you got good ball boys, we'll work with 2, 3 balls, okay? Because we're good at that, all right? All right? Okay. Spoke to you before the game about sportsmanship. Any questions about that? Right? Green talks to green, white talks to white. You want to be called blue or white?
Don't matter.
Doesn't matter. Good man. Okay? I have a coin here. See? It says tails. See? Tails. Heads, tails. See it says tails?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to flip it, call in the air. If I drop it, we'll do it again.
All right. Tails.
Tails. What does it say?
Tails.
What does it say?
Tails.
Okay, who won?
We did. Defer.
Gonna defer.
Yeah.
So that means you want the ball. Which way do you want to kick?
We're going to kick that way.
Okay, so you're going to stand right here. Straight line. That's it.
All right.
Good.
It looks like
guys, don't go far.
It looks like Sayreville won the toss, but will defer to the second half, and East Brunswick will receive in the first half. So, East Brunswick in the green unis with the white numerals, going to a very basic look in the helmets. I don't know if they forgot to order the stickers for them, or are we just going with the kind of throwback 1950s look here?
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see, too. They did have a week, I know, with Coach Borden as the weeks went on. In addition to the decal, they had those little bear paws on the helmets for good plays and things like that. You could accumulate them. So we'll have to see if that changes throughout the year, if they're just going to stay with that solid white with the green stripe down the middle.
And Sayreville in the white tops with blue pants and blue numerals, silver trim.
One thing I was actually, before the game, I saw a lot of you viewers know Bill Pellegrino, the longtime teacher, longtime coach in many sports, and we were sort of talking, and he was telling me how, just looking at Sayreville, you're used to them being, so big. I think they're, bigger than East Brunswick, but they seem to, their size maybe a little bit less than what we're accustomed to. Not saying they're not a big team, but kind of used to seeing them a little bit bigger when I was down on the field level, and Mr. Pellegrino was saying the same thing. So,
dropping back deep for East Brunswick to receive the kick will be John Gerhardt's number 5. He's deep middle on the up men there with Eugene Sampitro and 21 and number 16 Al-Malik Fitzpatrick.
I think obviously all starts are important, but I think for East Brunswick here, Sayreville coming off the loss, maybe their confidence is shaking a little bit. If East Brunswick can move the ball, put a score on early, you can have Sayreville, second guessing themselves a little bit. So obviously every game for every team the start's important, but I think more so for EB here.
Now Scribber coming down to one of the up men, picking it up at the 30 and getting out to about the 39-yard line for the Bears is Derek Cho.
And I don't know if that was the design. Maybe he wanted to squib it, but it didn't really go too far. So East Brunswick has good field position here to start.
I'm moving people off there.
Looked like number 81. Was that number 81?
That was number 81.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay.
Stop made by Sayreville, number 22.
For the Bears, behind center, number 3, Kevin Hemmings, a junior. Wide receiver split. Handoff inside to Gerhardt's going off right tackle. Stumbles forward, gets about 3. Ball will be spotted just across the 43-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 7.
And for East Brunswick, number 5, John Gerhardt needs to have a nice game for East Brunswick to do well, and he had a nice game the first game as well as Kevin Hemmings. So.
In on the tackle for Sayreville.
Gerhardt's come out.
Looked like he maybe just
Dinged
got shaken up a little bit. Yep.
Again, wide receivers split top and bottom of your screen, standard backfield. Deep handoff to the back. And turn and spun around. There is Brandon Tamari. He'll pick up about 4, maybe 5, depending on the spot.
East Brunswick, number 42, Brandon.
I like to see him in that hole there, just get his pads a little bit lower. He was a little bit straight up where he could have maybe got a couple more yards here. But, East Brunswick, these are going to be important downs. These 3rd and shorts. They're in a good situation here, about 3rd and 3. So, they got to convert these to keep that Sayreville offense off the field.
3rd down and a long 2, call it 3 perhaps. Hemmings will roll out, rolling right, looking downfield, will fire. Has his man right at the marker, Sam Walker, but
I think that should be a 1st down if they give him forward progress like they should. I see them moving it back. Oh, yeah, he's got it by plenty.
yeah. Well, no, we'll see the kind of crisscross pattern there as they
Yeah,
were.
did you see that?
Yeah, I mean,
what is this?
Yeah, they called that an incomplete pass.
Okay, they must have been.
Yeah, and as he spun around there, perhaps the ball was knocked out. I was wondering there because there wasn't that kind of move the chains and the chain gang on the far side here.
Now that pass should have been caught, but I think Hemmings waited a little bit too long. He had him in the flat open for a couple seconds before that. Still should be caught.
Nice spiraling punt. Drives Sayreville back to the 15-yard line. Breaks a containment on the outside. And it's a foot race, and this is going to be, unless, on the first touch of the ball game for Sayreville, Miles Hartsfield goes about 85 yards with the punt. As he broke that containment, come down the near sideline.
And that's one of the players for Sayreville that you have to look out for. I know I don't have it on hand right now, but I know he had well over 100 yards rushing. So that's a guy, Sayreville wants a ball in his hands, and like you said, can't let him get to the outside like that.
On to attempt the extra point for Sayreville. Benjamin Werb. And the kick is good. So with 10:05 remaining in the first quarter, Bears find themselves in a hole, 7-0.
And I know that just, eats at the coaches there, special teams, when you're not sharp with that. I know East Brunswick last week had South Brunswick 7-7, and then they had a pass, a lateral it was called, which they kind of didn't react to, which South Brunswick returned, and then we're driving again in the first quarter and or the first half, and had an interception to stall a drive. So not the way East Brunswick wanted to start there.
over the last few years, it seems like the East Brunswick football team has been victimized by long pass plays, long interception returns, that they've been the victim more so than the perpetrator of these long touchdowns.
Looks like there's a little confusion here with East Brunswick who should be out for. I think they got it right now.
Lining up to kick off for Sayreville.
Michael Contreras on the far side. Amelik Fitzpatrick near side, and John Gerhardt's in the back there.
See if Sayreville wants to kick one a little bit farther than they did last time. Squib it again, but maybe kick it a little bit farther.
A little bit of low line drive. They're going to let that one roll out. No, it takes bad English there as Gerhardt just has to fall on it at the 11, 12-yard line. That looked like it was going to go out of bounds, but it had the spin and it just came back.
That English it had on it, right?
Kickoff return by number 5, John Gerhardt.
So a little bit different field position than East Brunswick had to start their first drive. They had it on the 40. Now they'll be inside their 15. Looks almost about the 10-yard line here.
10 minutes even on the clock. You're watching EBTV coverage of East Brunswick High School athletics. Bears hosting the Bombers of Sayreville. Kevin Hemmings behind center, deep handoff. Not much going on there, maybe a yard.
Yeah, Sayreville's defensive line did a good job there of getting some penetration. There wasn't much for him there. And like you were saying before, Ken, Bob Molars is running an I formation here with the Bears with the two backs. And surprisingly, I thought they'd be throwing the ball maybe a tiny bit more than they have been. They threw that one pass on that 3rd and 3, so we'll see what he decides here. And it looks like they're spread out a little bit with just Gerhardt's in the backfield.
Two wide receivers, top of the screen, one down. Looked like movement. Yes, there was a flag on the play. Looked like there was some movement there.
And it looked like on the offense, I thought that should have been blown dead.
Yeah, it should have been blown dead if it was a false start. We'll have the penalty call in just a moment here. Let's see, they're conferring whether or not there was actually. It was the movement that you and I saw was on the left side of the line, the close side on the TV monitor, but it was the official on the far side who threw the flag.
Right. It looked like number.
Let's listen for the call. False start.
Yeah, so that should have been blown dead. So I think that's why the conversation was going on.
False start against East Brunswick, a 5-yard penalty.
False start. Illegal formation. Here. We're going to decline that.
No gain on the play. It remains 3rd down.
All right, so the result of the play was a no gain, so it's 3rd down and 9. The pitch to Gerhardt is going to try to cut it back up the middle. Gets maybe a yard, 2 yards. And that'll bring up a 4th down, and East Brunswick will have to punt.
On the carry, stop made by Sayreville, number 35, Dion Miller.
Chris Jones will drop back to punt.
Let's see if he tries to angle one and try to kick one out of bounds here if he can.
Well, Hartsfield's not even lining up at midfield. He's in the East Brunswick territory. Just got it away. Fair catch called for by the other deep back, Linwood Crump. And he'll give Sayreville the ball just inside, or let's mark it right at the 44-yard line of the Bears.
And like we were told, it does look like Malik Presley is not going to go. Looks like number 17, Justin Gallagher, is going to be behind center here.
Chris Jones. Sayreville takes over 1st and 10 from the Bears 44.
Gallagher, the 6-foot junior, operating out of the shotgun. Man in motion's Hartsfield. He'll get the snap. Trying to turn the corner. Bears do pursue it, but not before a gain of almost 5 yards on the play.
Yeah, he's someone obviously we saw with the punt return to look for. Also, number 35, who's the captain, Dion Miller, is also one of Sayreville's running back who they look to get the ball to. And you know, I know South Brunswick, I'm assuming, had some pretty good skill players and quickness. So your angles have to change a little bit here if you're East Brunswick with that speed. You think you have an angle on them, but you really don't.
And now Gallagher's lining up as a split end in a little wildcat action here as Hartsfield hands it off to Dion Miller. Miller's going to run in untouched from 40 yards out. And just that quickly, not even 5 minutes into, and the Bears find themselves down 2 touchdowns. Looked a little strange. I think maybe a little confusion because Gallagher split out to the bottom of the screen. And again, the Wildcat formation is Miles Hartsfield just handed it off to Miller coming around the end.
Yeah, and you know, it was almost a bad exchange there, so he just was able to get the ball down.
And the kick is good.
The Sayreville extra point is good. Number 59 for the Bombers, that's Benjamin Bird. Sayreville.
And again, Bears down now 14-0, not even 5 minutes in.
Yeah, the disappointing thing on that play, I don't know if he was touched on that play. Even in flag football, that wouldn't have had him.
Boys soccer team and Coach McKibben.
Well, while we have this opportunity, you heard the head official talking to the players about sportsmanship. And one of the things that I guess is being insisted that be read at not only in the locker rooms, but perhaps even on the broadcast here, is a reminder that today's contest is being conducted according to the rules of the NJSIAA. These rules provide for fair competition among players. Spectators can promote good sportsmanship by observing the rules of fair play. Any verbal, written, or physical conduct related to race, gender, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or religion shall not be tolerated. Could result in the violator being ejected and may result in penalties being assessed against your team. As we see one of the up men there grab it and the bouncing football and get it across the 30. Each person is requested to take personal responsibility for keeping their competition at a high level of good sportsmanship. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation in this matter. So I guess this is something that, I mean, they're really trying that to stop the taunting,
exactly,
showboating,
right?
Perhaps the use of racial or derogatory terms, other terms.
And that was Michael Contreras, who had a nice little return. So East Brunswick has better field position than they did the last drive. This might be the down that you take a shot down the field, 1st and 10.
Inside handoff, and breaking it across the 40, up to the 45 for a first down is Brandon Tamori. Quick right through. That was... you mentioned he needed to get a little lower to the ground, and
I'll tell you what, he hit that hole nicely there, and if not for a little shoestring tackle, that could have been another 10, 15, who knows.
First down for the Bears.
That was sort of like a read option there that you see in some of the NFL teams run.
Not much of a hole there for Gerhardt as he gets it across the 45 to the 46.
East Brunswick number 5, John Gerhardt on the carry.
46 and a half. 2nd and a long 8.
So East Brunswick, this drive has decided to sort of change it up a little bit, and they're sort of doing that little option there. So give Sayreville something else to look at. You can see they're not in the eye anymore.
Javon Ganzaroli split to the bottom of your screen. Hemmings keeps it on the option. Put the ball is a little loose there as he's being twisted around. Gains about 3, so it's going to be a 3rd down and 6 from the 49-yard line.
And all you New York Giants fans know the issues the Giants have been having, 0-2, but also with David Wilson that first game with those couple of fumbles where, when you're starting to get hit, you need to get 2 hands on the ball because, well-coached teams are going to be schooled on that where they're going to go after that ball.
Gerhardt's the lone setback behind Hemmings. 3 wide receivers to the top of the screen, 1 below. Sayreville blitzing. Hemmings trying to get rid of it, throws it away. Downfield and out of bounds.
Actually a good play hit there by Hemmings where he didn't take that sack where it would have been about a 10, 15-yard loss and was able to get the ball thrown away there. So saves East Brunswick some field position here.
Linwood Crump, number 6, and Miles Hartsfield, number 23, go back deep to receive the punt from Chris Jones. Jones, the senior. Five minutes, 5 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. High snap, not much of a rush. Good punt downfield. Crump falls down with it. I don't know, did he call a fair catch? Looked
it was like a half-hearted one.
Pretty half-hearted attempt at a fair catch, but it'll give Sayreville their worst field position of the day, of the night, excuse me, at the 15-yard line. No return.
Go over a couple teams and how they're doing. The girls soccer and Coach Brady are 3-0-1. They have a game coming up against Piscataway. Boys soccer are 4-0, so real good start. So as the broadcast goes on, we'll sort of update you with how the fall sport teams are doing here.
Crump in motion. The handoff to him as he comes across. They tried that play with Miller as Hartsfield seems to be now the quarterback du jour.
I'm sure what they probably did also with Presley being hurt, maybe, I would think they might have this package regardless, but with their starting quarterback not in, I'm sure they were, maybe going over some ways they could get a different look for East Brunswick. And, obviously you want Hartsfield with the ball a lot after we saw that punt return.
Hartsfield in the shotgun. Crump in motion, the snap, the read option, and Hartsfield will break it across, get the first down, bring it out to the 31-yard line.
You know what, and the tough part with both, East Brunswick is doing some of this option and Sayreville where they're, doing some different reads, you have to really stay home and do your job. You can't, sometimes those big plays happen when you're supposed to be doing something else and you're not doing your job.
Gallagher back behind center now in the shotgun. He'll hand it off to Miller. Miller breaks through to the secondary again, gets it across midfield to the Bears' 49-yard line.
Sayreville number 35. That's Ian Miller.
And another Sayreville first down.
And number 30, Chris Jones for the Bears. First down, Sayreville.
Gallagher now gets behind center. The pitch to Hartfield. Hartfield drags a couple of Bear defenders to about the 39-yard line. See how they have the spot here.
Looks like that's going to be a first down if that's where the...
Sayreville, number 23.
Moved it back
Just
a little bit.
Yeah, just a bit back. Second and about a half a yard.
Sam Walker. Gain of 9 yards. Second down and 1.
East Brunswick is reeling a little bit here. They need, someone to... They're going to measure, it looks like.
Timeout on the field.
And maybe that's the break you need.
There we go. Yeah, Sayreville was just in a nice rhythm there. I think this helps out East Brunswick a little bit with this measurement. I think he's going to be a little bit short, though. But I guess it is close enough to take a look. It's not going to be short by more than maybe a ball length.
Well, this game, as well as all East Brunswick High School athletic events and community events, can be found online. Stream it at the EBTV3 website, or go to the East Brunswick Public Library website. This game will also be rebroadcast on Thursday, November 28th, as part of a gigantic marathon, as well as Thursday, September 26th. And on demand at ebtv3.org. Again, thanks to the East Brunswick EBTV technical crew for coming out. great support of East Brunswick athletics. Well, second down at about a half a yard here. Gallagher's going to line up in the shotgun. Hand off to Miller. Miller straight up the middle and breaking 2 tackles, still on his feet. Gets down to about the 16-yard line. Gain of 23.
Dragging some defenders there.
Well, that middle seems to be opening up. Either they're pursuing beyond, trying to anticipate the outside sweep, and the middle's opening up. That's 4 or 5 times now that he was able to that him or Hartsfield was able to get into the secondary. Hartsfield now at quarterback. The handoff to Miller, bouncing around off tackle, gets down inside the 10-yard line, close to another first down.
And just some sloppy tackling right now by East Brunswick, because there have been a couple guys that have had their hands on the ball carrier, but just having trouble. And I know, see, there's some subs coming in and out for East Brunswick here. But I think you kind of, if you're East Brunswick, really Miller and Hartsfield are the 2 guys you want to really key on. The other guys have the ball, you know, you make them beat you a little bit. Easier said than done, though.
Miller trying to get around left tackle, cuts it back inside, dragging a couple of EB defenders, and gets it inside the 5-yard line, where it will bring up a 2nd and goal.
Number 35 for Sayreville, Dion Miller on the carry. In on the stop for East Brunswick was number 78, Doug Scott. In of 5 yards, 2nd down and goal for the Bombers.
2nd down and goal from the 2. Gallagher will come under center. He has Daniel Rodriguez behind him. In motion, Hartsfield fakes. The inside handoff is to Rodriguez for the touchdown. So Daniel Rodriguez is in for a 2-yard touchdown run.
And Sayreville looking to go up 21 with this extra point, and we still have a little over a minute left in this first quarter. And the extra point is good.
1 minute and 6 seconds. We played only 11 minutes, and Sayreville has a 21-0 lead. Now next Friday night, the 27th here at J. Doyle Field, the Bears will host the Raiders of North Brunswick High School.
And just to go over a couple more of those sports, both the boys and girls cross-country team are currently 2-2. Field hockey team, it does say 3-0 on here, but I know that they lost the other day to South Plainfield in actually a game that got caught in the rain, so I think they only played a half. Girls tennis, 5-0, so they're having a great year as usual. Gymnastics is 1-0 currently, and girls volleyball is doing well also.
Kickoff comes down to Gerhardt, who's going to try to bring it near this close sideline, turns the corner, can get down the sideline, gets to over the 40, almost to the midfield stripe, and tackled at the 46-yard line. Good field position starting for the Bears here, who need to generate something positive.
And you know what? I think that might have been why Sayreville, was doing those little squib kicks, because that's the one, I think the one guy in East Brunswick that really, if he gets a ball in his hands, he's got speed, he's got, some strength where he can do some things. So good positive start here for EB to start this drive.
Hemmings under center, split backfield behind him. Inside handoff to Tamori. And Brandon Tamori gets about 3 yards.
And he's had a couple of good runs there.
Stop made by Sayreville, number 56, Nick Wolf. A gain of 4 yards, 2nd down and 7.
This will be probably the last play. Eye under formation. Hemmings hands it off to Gerhardt, trying to escape, and great pursuit and dropping him for a 4-yard loss for the Bombers. Dan Greco, defensive co-captain.
Yeah, nothing Gerhardt could do there. Right when he had the ball, there was a couple guys in the backfield, so I don't know if it was a, miscommunication with the blocker. Sayreville D-line just did a good job to get in there, but that'll be the end of the quarter.
21-0.
That whistle marks the end of the first quarter of play. Your score, Sayreville 21, East Brunswick 0.
Been a bit of a down cycle for East Brunswick football over the last few years after that win in the snow at the College of New Jersey in 09.
Yeah, 9-0 victory over Brick.
Their next meet.
Yeah, they've struggled. It's definitely a tough group that they're in. You got Sayreville every year seems to be good. Piscataway every year seems to be good. Old Bridge is coming back around. Now Edison this year is having some success. There's not. These are teams that are winning state championships, getting into the state playoff. So, if you're not up to that caliber, it's a tough year. And there you see Sayreville sideline, George Ajar. He's been there, I think, maybe almost 20 years now. I think it's been at least, 19, I remember reading. But he's obviously had a lot of success.
Congratulations to the girls soccer team. Currently 3 wins.
3rd down and 11. Ball's on the 40-yard line. Bears have to get to the Sayreville 44. Hemmings in the shotgun. Low snap. Here comes the blitz. Hemmings running around the corner, trying to get around to the outside. Gets to the 40, where it will be a Bears first down.
Showed good speed there, and also I have to give credit there. John Gerhardt just was able to get a piece of number 35 Miller as he was coming in, which did just enough to slow him down where Hemmings could get to that corner. The East Brunswick needed that there. Yeah, just the way Sayreville was sort of over-pursued there. Maybe at some point, East Brunswick with a reverse or something that they have to Gerhardt's might be successful.
Dropping back, straight back to pass. Downfield, trying to hit in the flat, trying to hit Derek Chow. Or, I'm sorry, that's Sean O'Sullivan.
And Nick Molteg did a good job of reading that. Hemmings was sort of staring that down that whole time, so the linebacker for Sayreville just sort of was reading his eyes. So, that's a tough thing, especially in high school to do. But you want to, if you want to throw it there, you can't be staring that down the whole time.
2nd down and 10. Ball right at the 40-yard line.
Sometimes when you're down 21-0 too, you try to force things a little bit.
Low snap. Shuttle pass inside. Little problem here. Gerhardt's almost lost it. And by the time he was able to gather it up, he had crunched up against the offensive line and the defensive line. So no gain. Still 3rd down now and 10.
That's always a scary play for me, that shuffle pass, because if a guy just happens to be in that spot, it can get deflected. The timing really has to be good on that play. You have to have the defense in the right, where they're really coming up the field too, where that's successful. If they're laying back, that's sometimes tough.
3rd and 10. Hemmings looking. Now we'll dump it off. Last second decision there.
Yeah.
Javon Gonzaroli picks it up for a couple of yard gain.
This might be one of those where you go for it where you are on the field. I don't know how many chances you're going to get. You're on the 38 here. I think maybe they might even call timeout and talk about this.
Well, Hemmings is right now in conversation with the head coach. And the punter, Chris Jones, came onto the field and now is off. So Hemmings is going to be in there as the Bears are going to go for it. 4th down and 8. They have to get right to the 30-yard line.
They might have to hurry up here, too, with the play clock. because it took him a while. So
it's the play away. Looking downfield, flings it, and has his. No, there's an incomplete as.
I think that was actually a good call. I had a pretty good angle of it there.
Incomplete.
That was a good try by Sean O'Sullivan there.
He didn't think so. He would argue with you.
Yeah, he probably, when he hears this, will argue with me. But
First down, Sayreville.
well, that would have been enough for a first down for East Brunswick, and just a little bit low there on the throw.
Miller with the ball, breaks 3 tackles, gets into the secondary, and drives it into Bear territory for a Sayreville first down.
Number 35 for Sayreville, Dion Miller. On the carry, stop made by East Brunswick, number 5, John Gerhardt, and number 42, Brandon Torrey. Gain of 11 yards, good for a Sayreville Bombers first down.
9:31 left in this first half as Sayreville has driven it into Bear territory again at the 49. Now Hartsfield will line up as the quarterback. Miller in motion, gets the inside handoff, breaks it again right up the middle, and gets it down to the 40, gain of 9.
Yeah, Sayreville's in a nice rhythm right now, picking up chunks of yards, like you said, kind of exposing that middle there of East Brunswick.
Gain of 9 yards, second down and 1.
Gallagher will line up under center, number 17 there for Sayreville. Hartsfield in motion. The pitch to Hartsfield along the right side, breaks it again into the secondary. Gets down to the 25. Another Sayreville first down. Pickup of 15.
That was Sayreville, number 23, Miles Hartsfield on the carry. Good for a Sayreville Bombers first down.
Gallagher under center again. In motion this time. And the handoff inside. Well, I'm glad to see they're sharing the ball.
Yeah.
Aaron Davis, number 22, picks up the carry. Gains minimal yardage. Well, that's why. It's Aaron Davis carrying the ball. It's
if I was a Sayreville coach, I wouldn't be sharing the ball too much. I would want it in number 23 or number 35's hands as much as possible. But you have to keep, well, I'd say you have to keep the defense honest, but if they're not stopping you, I guess you don't.
Hartsfield. Crump in motion. The fake, and Hartsfield will keep it. Dances inside, looks like inside the 10-yard line. Again, another first down for Sayreville.
I'm really impressed with Miles Hartsfield. Just his look out there, how he runs the ball. He actually reminds me a little bit of Arian Foster from the Texans, just sort of his build and sort of how he kind of floats around there on the field. Very, very smooth.
Ball spotted just inside of the 10, so it's first and goal. A little bit of confusion there and a false start, and that was rather obvious.
Penalty marker on the play, false start against Sayreville, a 5-yard penalty. It remains first down, first and goal from inside the 15-yard line.
I think only the second penalty today.
Hartsfield lines up in the shotgun. Miller to his right. Now Miller goes up, now in motion. The handoff to Miller. Good pursuit by the Bears, but he eludes the pursuit, slips a tackle, and brings it down to about the 2, maybe the 1-yard line.
And if you're East Brunswick there, if you're a coach, you got to say we had him in the right spot. Number 30, Jones for East Brunswick did a great job of containing him and making him cut it in. And then there's no East Brunswick players there. You gotta pursue that. I know he's quick, but East Brunswick, played that correctly except for the pursuit. So you got to be shaking your head if you're an East Brunswick coach after that one there.
Ball on the 2-yard line, 2nd and goal. Gallagher under center. Hand off. Hartsfield looking for room.
Close,
but he's down.
Yep.
They're going to call it about the half-yard line.
Number 23 for Sayreville, Miles Hartsfield on the carry. Short gain, 3rd down, 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line.
Inside handoff and breaking the plane is Dion Miller with the 1-yard touchdown run, his 2nd of the night.
Dion Miller with the 1-yard touchdown run.
Not much to cheer about for the Bear Den here to get excited about here.
No, and we do have a pretty good crowd here for, nice night out here, home opener. So we really haven't heard the fans too much, haven't had much to cheer about.
Extra point is good. Sayreville jumps out to a 28-0 lead here.
Well, while we also have this time, we see the East Brunswick in the huddle there, but give it up there for the East Brunswick varsity cheerleaders coached by Coach LeBlanc. The captains for the cheer team are Danielle Alba, Danielle Lindemann, and Sydney Casamisa. So we see them right there. They do a nice job of keeping the crowd into the game.
Right here at East Brunswick High School against South Brunswick. The Bears gymnastics.
Maybe we'll see them hopefully later. They have a little routine when the Bears score, so let's hope we can scan back at them later and at least see them one time tonight.
Gerhardt drops back deep for the Bears. Fitzpatrick and Contreras are the up men.
Coach LeBlanc and our varsity cheerleaders. The squad.
Well, let's see what Sayreville does here. If I'm them, I try that squib again a little bit deeper, but I would not kick it to Gerhardt's. That's a guy I would not want to catch the ball.
Benjamin Werb drives a couple bounces, picked up by Contreras. Contreras is going to try to get it to the outside. Gets it across the 30-yard line. Bears have had, alternating decent position, bad position, but they've had opportunities here. Not to say that they've been trapped.
Yeah, and looked almost like Contreras was going to maybe pitch it to Gerhardt's for a minute, so maybe they had talked about that if one of those guys just up from Gerhardt's caught it to pitch it to him, but looked like he sort of spinned and then ran with it.
Gerhardt's is the deep back. Sam Walker, the up back. Gerhardt's gets the carry, tries to break it outside, gets back maybe to the original line of scrimmage.
East Brunswick number 5, John Gerhardt on the carry. Stop made by Sayreville number 56, Nick Wolfett.
They're going to give him no gain, maybe half a yard. 2nd down, we'll call it 10.
And 9 for the Bears.
Gerhardt's back there with Hemmings. Hemmings in the shotgun, takes the snap, Here comes the pressure, eludes the pressure, and will run. Gets out of bounds and forced out. There was a freight train collision waiting to happen, and it was very good to see the Sayreville player there in the pursuit, that Isaiah Copes.
Hold up. Right? Yeah. I know earlier on a third down play, East Brunswick was trying to get a screen set up for Gerhardt's, but I know he's been in there a couple times on passing plays blocking. I like to see them split him out, or at least have him go out for a route there. I wouldn't keep him in the backfield. He needs, he's someone you want to get the ball in his hands. Let's see what he does here.
Spread out, 2 wide receivers, top and bottom. Gerhardt's in the block. Hemmings flushed out of the pocket, looking downfield. Will keep it himself to get as many positive yards as he can. Calls by the fans and the coaching staff there for a hit out of bounds. A gain of 3 out to the 46. But that'll bring up a 4th and call it 3. And the punting unit will come out for the Bears. 4:07 left to go in this first half. I'm Ken Saroka along with Rich Whalen, broadcasting all the action to you of this home opener in the 2013 season. Oh, and it's straight up in the air and out, and we'll wait for the spot, but it should be a very poor punt there by Jones. The ball is going to be marked at the 46 for literally no gain almost.
So, you know what, when that happens as a coach, you say to yourself, I should have just went for it, right? You end up, what do you gain? Five yards there about? It was about a 5 or 6 yard punt, so. When it's going bad, sometimes it's going bad, and this first half has been going bad for East Brunswick.
Crump in motion. The handoff goes to Miller, and Miller again goes about 12 yards before he's even touched, and he's still on his feet and gets it all the way down to the 25.
And one thing I didn't like there is you can't assume the play's over. So a couple Bears sort of stopped. It looked like he was going to fall, and he got his balance and kept going. I'd like to see more hats, more helmets there going after the ball carrier.
Ball spotted on the 24. Gain of 22 on the play. So Miller, who cranked out a 40-plus yard touchdown run, in addition to a short touchdown run. Hartsfield, who has a 77-yard punt return, is at quarterback. He'll keep it, and he'll have a clear lane, wide open, untouched touchdown as Miles Hartsfield picks up his second TD of the first half.
Number 23, Miles Hartsfield, with the score.
And just confusion right now with East Brunswick. Everyone went with number 6 for Sayreville, Crump, in motion, and Hartsfield just faked the ball to his belly. Everyone went, and there was really, other than the one guy with contain, no one on that side. Everyone had followed number 6.
Benjamin Werb will again come in to attempt the extra point. He's been busy. 5 kickoffs and 5 extra points. And our score, Sayreville 35, East Brunswick nothing.
Now, Ken, I don't know if you're into this at all with fantasy. Do you do fantasy football?
Yeah, we have in the history department, social studies department, we have a little thing on ESPN, a weekly pick 'em with that. Yeah.
I was thinking I would like to have a couple of these Sayreville backs on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we've got Miller with 2 touchdowns. We've got Hartsfield with 2 touchdowns.
And depending on what type of league you do, I know some have the receptions, yards for both, things like that. So
every game to ensure the safety of East Brunswick.
Well, this shouldn't be that uninspected from Sayreville. I mean, group they were champions in their group.
Right, they have their main backfield, Hartsfield and Miller back. You know, we're not even actually seeing Presley, who I hear is a pretty good athlete, their quarterback. So
he's not even dressed. I don't even see him on the sideline.
And then you think Old Bridge beat this team, you know, pretty handily.
Oh, that doesn't set up Thanksgiving very well. It doesn't. Gerhardt's picks it up at the 12. Gets it across the 30. And that's certainly the only bright spot here for East Brunswick has been Gerhardt's on the kick returns.
I was just thinking also it looks like this October is going to be different for me. I'm a Yankee fan, so.
Well, Andy Pettit just announced his retirement again, but this time for real, for sure. No Mariano Rivera.
You're a Phillies fan, right, Ken?
Yeah, I'm hurting as it is. My Phillies, the Eagles, my Montreal Alouettes are hurting. It's like I can't wait for hockey season. Hemmings will give the ball on an inside handoff to Sam Walker, who gets hit behind the line. They're going to mark it as a 1-yard loss, bring up a 2nd and 11.
That's Sam Walker on the carry. Stop made by Sayreville, number 8, Patrick Herba. Loss of 1 yard, 2nd down and 9. Check that 2nd down and 11 for the Bears.
High backfield, Hemmings. Pitch, handoff to Gerhardt's. Gerhardt's running right up the middle and getting across midfield for a nice 20-yard gain. John Gerhardt's.
And I have to give credit there to East Brunswick, number 58, Joe Chetta, made a really nice block on a Sayreville player. It looked like Isaiah Copes, number 7, had a shot at him, and he just made a nice block to give Gerhardt's that opportunity there. So nice block there by number 58, Joe Chetta, on that.
Fresh set of downs for the Bears, operating in Sayreville territory. Pitch. Tamori gets, and that pitch was almost intercepted twice, as Sayreville's penetration on the from the D line almost blew up that play before it started. No gain. Bring up 2nd and 10, under 2 minutes left to go. Be nice for the Bears to not only score here, run the clock out. We're down to almost nothing.
Right, and you might see here, you know, depending on the situation, East Brunswick might, you know, they have their 3 timeouts left. So if it's a, you know, whatever play, you probably want to maybe take a timeout here, unless there's an incompletion.
Pass over the middle, intended for Kyle Kelleher.
And I know it was a little high where Kyle had to jump there, but that's, you know, that's a ball I think he'd say he can catch.
3rd down and 10. Clock stops, 1:12 left to go.
Well, I think where they are here, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, you know, down 35-0. I think at this point, this is 2-down territory here. So you might even call a play to make it a little more manageable here. But I think you go for it on 4th down, regardless of this.
Flanker screen out on the far side to O'Sullivan.
Pass from Hemmings
Complete. Gain of about 6.
That's Sean O'Sullivan with the reception. Stop made by number 23 for Sayreville. That's Miles Hartsfield. 4th down. 4th and 4.
And East Brunswick content to let the clock run. I suppose that if they do manage to get a 1st down here, that perhaps Coach Mollers will be a little more conservative with the clock, using his timeouts.
Right, yeah, I definitely think if they got a couple subs coming in. And
Kelleher, it's the 2nd time he's kind of had to rush into the set. Busted play. Gerhardt's is going to get nailed behind the line. Loss of about 7 there on the 4th down play. And it's going to give Sayreville the ball in East Brunswick territory with 20 seconds left to go. I think that should have required a timeout. I mean, that play there, you had time.
Just make sure you have a guy coming in late. You just want to make sure in that situation you have. And I know you're thinking you don't want to give Sayreville time, but they're going to kneel on it here anyway. And down 35-0. This is actually pretty. Not that you have to do this in the first half with the big lead, but pretty good sportsmanship there by Sayreville, not trying to get another score there.
And that will be, as the clock winds down here, both teams heading to the dressing room. With your score, Sayreville 35, East Brunswick 0. We'll be back with second half action in just a moment.
And your East Brunswick.
That you've learned. The trophies and the titles aren't given, they're earned. Let's hear it for your East Brunswick High School cheerleader. Drum major Kevin Houston. Is the band ready? East Brunswick High School, you may take the field in halftime exhibition. time show steal. Let's hear it again for your East Brunswick High School marching band. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night in Scotch Plains at our first competition.
And we're back at J. Doyle Field. Second half action. The Bears hosting the Sayreville Bombers. I'm Ken Saroka along with Richie Whalen. The moon may be the only beautiful thing out on a night like today as the Bears find themselves on the short end of a 35-0 score.
No, I always wish that, you know, in games like this, I could be like a fly in the wall in that locker room and kind of see what was said in sort of the tone, because it's the second game of the year, so you know obviously you're not happy about things, but there's things you want to build on. You know, it's a new coach, new system with stuff. Obviously Sayreville's a talented team, but I think the things that East Brunswick is going to be upset about is missed assignments, some missed tackles, pursuing the ball. And just being a little bit tougher with some stuff. And then you give Sayreville credit because obviously they came ready to go and have some talented guys. But, we'll have to see here in the second half how East Brunswick comes out here.
Bears were outperformed offensively in that first half, 242 to 68. The Sayreville Bombers did not attempt to pass. 20 carries, 242. That's a nice average.
Yeah, it's a real nice average. That's over, obviously, 10 yards a carry.
20. Oh, no, 10. You're right, 10.
Yeah, about 12 yards a carry.
12 carry. Bears, Hemmings, 4 carries for 24 yards. John Gerhardt's 10 carries for only 17 yards. Heard a couple of these big losses. And Brandon Tamori, 4 for 20. The defense, Sayreville made it look easy.
Yeah,
and that's not being stretching the truth in any way. When the first man to hit Hartsfield or to hit Dion Miller is 12 yards deep.
Yeah.
That's not going to produce a lot of positive results. And Sayreville will get the ball to start the second half.
Right, they deferred. Just while we have a moment here, too, we see Sayreville sideline there with some of the coaches and players. Athletes of the month for September for East Brunswick cheerleading, Angela Long. Brandon Young was the boys cross country. Melody, and if you can help me, if you have any of these students with the last names, Melody,
Fakhrizadeh.
Right, it's girls cross country. Field hockey, Rachel Hong. I know she had a great game the other day. I believe she had a hat trick for them. Football, number 5, John Gerhardt's. Michelle Yam was the athlete of the month for gymnastics. Anik Ray, actually a former student of mine at Chittick, was boys soccer athlete of the month. Kayla Kennedy was the girls soccer player of the month. Adelina Bagu was the girls tennis player of the month for East Brunswick, and girls volleyball, Sabrina Chang. So congratulations to those players.
Number 11, Tim Flynn, will tee it up for the Bears, who are going to move right to left on your screen for the second half. Back deep. Crump, and in the deep area, Hartsfield. Rodriguez on the far side. Deep, and kicking it around and falling on it in the end zone.
The East Brunswick kickoff by number 11.
And not fielded cleanly.
Yeah, I think that rule, and obviously the refs know more than me with the high school, if they never have control of it like that and it goes in the end zone, that would be a touchback. Now,
unless, of course, it is picked up by the kicking team.
Exactly.
It is a live ball.
Right, exactly.
So Sayreville will operate 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Hartsfield, who picked up a tidy little 79 yards on the ground and a 77-yard punt return. will hand it off to Crump. Crump will run around the outside, and he'll get to about the 28-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 8. Linwood Crump. And it looks like
Sayreville number 6, Linwood Crump on the carry.
You know what? It's Sayreville smartly with this offense is having some of their backs go in motion where they already have that head start, to start, where that makes it even tougher for East Brunswick to sort of contain and get to the ball. So looking very comfortable here, Sayreville still.
Inside handoff to Miller. This time, and for the first time in a long time, Miller is stopped, but he does break the 30, and that'll bring up a 1st and 10 for Sayreville.
Yeah, the DNs for East Brunswick there did a good job of pinching down, and there was some penetration there by the D-line East Brunswick, so nice job there.
We do have to explain that because Sayreville is out to a 35-point lead, the clock is running. I guess this is kind of a mercy rule in that sense, is the clock will continue to run on incomplete and out-of-bounds plays. Hartfield in the shotgun. Keeps it, fakes it, keeps it himself, will break to the outside and get maybe 7.
See, and that's one of those things there that I'm pretty sure that someone did not do their job there, because someone went for that fake whose job it is to get contained there. Now, Sayreville only got 5 yards there, but, someone should be there for East. Someone's job there is to have that contained there if he does pull the ball, which he did.
Dropping back, looking to pass, but wrapped up on the play at the 30 is Hartsfield. Looking downfield for Gallagher, the sometime quarterback, sometime wide receiver.
Kyle Kelleher with the quarterback sack for the
Kyle
Bears.
Kelleher.
A loss of
Nice
5
play there.
yards. 3rd down, 3rd and
Looked like he
10.
was looking to throw it possibly there, huh?
Yeah, he had Gallagher open, but I don't think he had a good grip on the ball.
Yeah, it looks, yeah.
And he is wearing a glove on his left hand.
Left hand, right.
And I don't know if he's a lefty or a righty. Hartsfield will keep it. Breaks out the outside, gets past the outside and goes out of bounds, but he will pick up enough for the first down.
Miles Hartsfield.
Ball will be spotted by the official at the 46 of Sayreville, 1st and 10.
Gain of 14 yards, good for a Sayreville Bombers 1st down.
Gallagher under center with Rodriguez in the backfield. In motion, Miller. The pitch is to Miller. Much better job containing here as Kelleher clips from the inside to stop for minimal gain.
Number 35,
maybe half a yard.
Miller,
number 56, Manzano. Nice play there.
58, Joe Chetta. 1 yard gain.
And that was much better pursuit there by East Brunswick. A couple defenders there.
Gallagher under center, 17, has wide receiver split to the top. Miller in motion. The inside up handoff to Rodriguez. And Rodriguez will stumble to the 45 of the Bears, bringing up a, they're going to mark him down at the 47, saying he bounced forward, so it's going to be a 3rd and 3.
Gain of 6 yards, 3rd down and 3 for Sayreville.
Hartsfield now a quarterback. Gallagher split up to the top of your screen. Crump, the inside handoff looking Miller will get it across the 45 into Bear territory of the 44. Close to the 43, mark it as a 1st down, Sayreville.
Miller on the carry.
That was sort of the first time Miller was kind of tiptoeing a little bit, I guess, being patient, waiting for some blockers to help out, and he just did fall forward to get that 1st down.
Deion Miller, 10 carries, 157 yards, and 2 touchdowns unofficially in the 1st half. Gallagher under center. Rodriguez in the backfield. In motion, Hartsfield. The inside handoff and stuffed for no gain is Rodriguez.
And number 67 for the Bears is hurt. He actually made that initial hit for East Brunswick and looked like maybe he, you know, little contact to his head, it looked like.
Thomas Burzak's the man down.
And he really started that playoff by getting that penetration and making the initial contact.
Hartsfield in the shotgun. Miller in motion. Hartsfield will keep it. Breaks contained, goes to the outside, and it's a foot race. And Hartsfield, the track star, is not, well, he is going to be caught just inside the 10-yard line.
Sayreville number 23, Miles Hartsfield.
And I think that was McSweeney there, number 1 for East Brunswick on the stop.
Out of bounds by East Brunswick number 1.
You just tell the hell he's a good track. I mean, the smoothness.
It's smooth, exactly. That's.
And he, for what I was talking in the press box here, he's not a sprinter. He's the long jump, you know, kind of person, and the smoothness is just incredible. Gallagher under center. Miller will take the handoff up the gut, trying to dance inside, gets inside the 5.
Sayreville number 35, Dion Miller on the carry. Second down, second and goal for the
Second goal at the 5. And with the running clock, Sayreville has already chewed up 8 minutes of this third quarter with this drive. Penalty flag being thrown here on the field. Some kind of setup infraction. Let's see, maybe too many men.
Foul. 12 men on the field, defense.
Too many men on the field. Be at half the distance to the goal, putting the ball at about the 2.5-yard line.
Penalty for illegal substitution against East Brunswick. Half the distance to the goal line, second down.
Gallagher in the shotgun. In motion. Hartsfield will come right in, untouched. 3-yard touchdown run. Miles Hartsfield with his third touchdown of the game, second rushing.
Touchdown run.
Benjamin Werb.
Might need some ice for that right leg tonight.
His extra point is good. 6 for 6 for him on the extra points.
59, that's Benjamin Werb with the point.
And our score 42-0.
Well, I think, you know, if we're going to look at positives in that for East Brunswick, I think a little bit obviously better than what we saw in the first half. They were able to make some plays for minimal game. You know, a little bit better job pursuing the ball carry. Really, that 3rd and 3, Sayreville was just able to get that first down to keep that drive alive, and then we're able to score. But we're at least in that drive didn't really see those huge chunks of yards like we did, you know, in the first half. Maybe that one big one by Miles Hartsfield, but a little bit better there.
A line drive deep to Gerhardt's at the 12. We'll run it up the far sideline and get it out to about the 30-yard line. The one bright spot in East Brunswick's performance tonight has been the special teams returns of Gerhardt's. Unfortunately, he's had too much practice.
Exactly.
First down, East Brunswick from its own 29-yard line.
East Brunswick staff, just to give you some names of the coaches who put in the time for East Brunswick: Andy Steinfeld, Justin Horline, Matt Pazinko, Chris Unazzo, Brian Repsky, Paul Nelson, and Anthony Alexander and Alan Grossholz, as well as Kevin Norris.
Not that I'm being the naysayer and the doom and gloom person here, but I was looking through the record book that we have, and the most points allowed in a game by the Bears is 62 against J.P. Stevens in 1997. So 42. I don't think that rule with the running clock was in place back then.
Right.
So I don't think, unless we have the kind of turnover pick six,
right,
that we're going to have a chance at seeing that record broken.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's in the picture, possibly, right? 3 scores.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But with Sayreville taking off 8 minutes of the clock running, unless we get, like I said, a big gainer or a defensive pick six fumble recovery type score.
And Piscataway leads Old Bridge 17-10.
All right, we're hearing scores here from other games in the area. Hemmings will break it through, and he's into the secondary. Foot race. Hemmings tackled at the 25-yard line. A 45-yard run.
East Brunswick, number 3, Kevin Hemmings.
And if not for the angle for number 11 with Sayreville, he was going to be gone there. But Sayreville really bit on that fake by Hemmings, and Hemmings did a nice job of making that into obviously the biggest game for East Brunswick tonight.
Ball on the 25-yard line. Gerhardt and Tamori in the backfield. Hemmings drops back to pass, looks for the downfield, and
the East Brunswick pass falls incomplete. It was intended for East Brunswick.
Javon Ganzaroli down that sideline didn't make a real aggressive effort to go back for the ball. Shadowed nicely, though, by the Sayreville secondary.
And I think that's, you know, a good call there. He's got size on that Sayreville corner that's over there. You can just look when he's lined up on him. So I know the safety was over on that side as well, but, you know, that's a shot you take with him.
Tamori trying to cut his way through. Get to about maybe the 17-yard lane before he's driven back.
East Brunswick, number 42.
Looks like another Bear shaking up
close.
here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they're spotted. Looks like they may have the first down, but we're going to have a timeout for injury.
I think that's Michael Quinnen, number 50.
Michael Porcaro. Timeout on the field, timeout for injury.
Well, let's see where they mark the ball here. This game will be rebroadcast on November 28th as part of a marathon of games from the fall sports season. It's also available online at ebtv3.org, along with all the other community programs for those who can stream them far and away. Keep track of East Brunswick High School athletics and community events, thanks to the good people at EBTV. And once again, we thank them for coming out and supporting East Brunswick High School athletics through their broadcasting of these games.
Well, that's good to see Michael there, able to
off the field under his own power.
go out without any help.
Down, 3rd and 3.
3rd and call it 2.5. The pitch to Gerhardt's. Gerhardt's tackle for a loss on the play. Should have perhaps cut that up quicker instead of trying to go for the home run to get the first down.
I agree there. A nice open field tackle there by Sean Abukara there. And he was the one that made that saving tackle on Hemmings when he broke loose as well. So 2 big plays there. This is really a no-brainer, obviously down the score they are, and this could be the last play of the quarter. like you said, with the clock running, we're at 20 seconds now to go.
Hemmings hands off to Gerhardt's, looking to pick a spot here. We'll get.
I think they're going to be.
Yeah, it looks like he's crossed
right on it, right?
Well, it is going to be a first down as they're marking it just inside the 15.
Okay, you're right.
So East Brunswick, when the fourth quarter rolls back around, will have an opportunity here with a fresh set of downs at the 15-yard line. So end of 3 quarters with our score: Sayreville 42, East Brunswick nothing. Next week, the Bears here. 27th will host
North Brunswick. Right.
Raiders of North Brunswick. The Thanksgiving Day game is also here,
Boys soccer tomorrow, right here, 10 a.m.
with away games at Monroe, at Edison, at Piscataway.
Takes on Piscataway.
Add a home game to 2 home games in October back-to-back. Manalapan and JP Stevens. Homecoming, I think, is the 25th.
Takes on Piscataway at Piscataway. That's at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Boys cross country and girls cross country, both in action tomorrow.
Sayreville goes to at Edison, which should be an interesting game next week. Edison, like you had mentioned before, Ken, had upset Piscataway the first week, so that's a nice win for that program. And, you know, similar schedule to East Brunswick, the only difference being they play Freehold Township as home, whereas East Brunswick plays Manalapan. But the rest of the schedule is the same in terms of the teams that they play.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please take out your 50-50 tickets for our drawing.
While we have a second, also just talking about some fall captains. I'll get in as many as I can now, and then at another break, cheerleading, Danielle Alba, Danielle Lindemann, and Sydney Masima. Boys cross country, Liam McSpirit and Brandon Young. And we'll get to some more of those in a moment.
Hemmings, high backfield, the deep handoff to Gerhardt's. Gerhardt's stuffed for a loss. And Gerhardt's, who had only 10 carries for a positive 17 yards in the first half, losing ground on that number as we go through this third quarter into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and it's tough sometimes. I understand he's dancing around a little bit because there is some penetration with Sayreville, but you really got to try to hit that hole hard. And I know it's tough when you see that people are getting into the backfield a little bit, but you know, got to be a little bit more decisive there with when he gets that ball.
Second down, 15. Hemmings looking downfield, has a man open, and the catch is made on the sideline by Aiden Werder. Werder corrals it at the 11.
Nice concentration there with that catch. It bobbled around a little bit, and he was able to catch that before the ball hit the ground. Nice catch.
Bears need to get to the 5-yard line to get a fresh set of downs, but we are in 2-down territory. 3rd and 6. Split backfield behind Hemmings. Hemmings drops back, 3 steps looking, gonna float it for Kelleher. The back of the end zone, incomplete.
East Brunswick pass falls incomplete.
And he had to throw that a little bit higher because there were defenders underneath, but maybe would have liked to get a little bit more on that throw. Floated it a little bit too much and obviously went out of the back of the end zone. You want to at least give your guy a chance to catch that. But they will have one more down here. They're gonna kick.
Yeah, the kick, well, get some positive points on it. Put the points on the board, take the zero, the goose egg out of there. Tim Flynn will attempt a field goal. The spot will be at the 17-yard line, so this will be a 27-yard field goal attempt. The spot, the kick is blocked. And that was low.
Yeah. He sort of kicked that like the old school some guys used to. I know I'm a big Redskin fan. Mark Mosley had that straight on kick. I believe Tom Dempsey, who at the time had the record, I think maybe Jason Elam and a couple other guys.
Well, Elam and Janikowski did it in Denver.
But
and David Akers bounced one off the crossbar.
That's right.
Last year.
But I actually think Tom Dempsey, you might know better. I think he had a half of like a foot and a half
he was
arm,
born.
right?
He was born with a club foot, and he had a special kind of squared off shoe because he did kick. He kicked that for the New Orleans Saints,
That's
but
right.
he did kick for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And that's actually when the goalposts were at the goal line, so he was on the other side of the field.
He kicked it from the 37, from his 37 to make that one. Gallagher at quarterback now. Sayreville with the ball, 8:49 left to go. They take over on the block. Inside handoff stuffed for minimal gain. As Sayreville apparently is resting the top tier running back combo of Hartsfield and Miller. Gallagher is in at quarterback now for 2 plays in a row, which is unusual.
And we'll see if maybe East Brunswick gets some of the other guys in there.
Cutting it back up inside there for Sayreville is Michael Sensi.
Sayreville number 46, that's Michael
And they're going to be enough for a Bombers first down. Ball made it to the 28.
You're starting to see some subs now from East Brunswick as well, little by little.
First down, Sayreville.
They only have 10 out here, East Brunswick. Here it's
And busting it out to the 40-yard line, Gerard Henry.
Sayreville number 45.
And this is a chance for both teams, these players who maybe don't get to see quite as much time to show what they can do. And you know, you're only one play away with some of these guys if a guy goes down to where you're out there. So.
Sayreville running basically the same plays they ran before. That's Sensi. Gets about 2 yards after breaking 1 tackle.
Sensi on the carry. Stop made by
Second down and 8.
56, Thomas Lanzano. Gain of 2 yards, second down and 8.
Handoff and breaks in containment is Brandon Allende. Brandon Allende brings it across midfield, and another Sayreville first down as they move the chains.
Didn't quite catch the number there. Pretty good hit there by the East Brunswick player. And yeah, that guy, number 26 there for Sayreville, showed some good speed there.
Number 4, Jason Andrade.
Sensi dragged forward to the 46-yard line.
Sayreville number 46.
And with this clock running, you know, and obviously the clock's running regardless because they're running the ball on the ball, you know, no incomplete pass, but we're down to under 6 minutes left in the game here.
Gain of 3 yards, second down and 7.
Sensi in motion. The inside handoff that time fooled the Bears interior line. And
Number 45.
Gerard Henry was the smallest guy out there, going right up the middle.
Carry, stop made by East Brunswick. Number 10. That was Phil Willis. Stop.
New quarterback in play here, Chris Klein, number 15 for Sayreville, under center. Hands it off, and breaking it to the outside is Brandon Allende. Allende gets another Sayreville first down. And they are stopping the clock just to move the chains,
right.
But in on the stop was number 4, Jason Andrade for East Brunswick.
they're not. You got to hand it to the coach, Sayreville coach. He's not pulling anything out of the hat. They're running the same exact plays.
Yeah, and listen, they deserve to run these plays and to get these other guys in. And like you said, they're not doing anything that they wouldn't normally do with their other players.
Sensi stopped for no gain. Good penetration there, the D-line by the Bears.
46 for Sayreville, Michael Sensi on the carry. And on the stop for East Brunswick, number 83, Kostya Kashkanov.
We had already talked about the football captains. The captains for field hockey for the Bears, Megan Costello, Rachel Hung, and Taylor McNamara.
Allende cutting, weaving, getting inside the 20-yard line, or at the 20-yard line, I should say. He'll bring up a 3rd and 3. Call it 3rd and 4 as the Bombers have to get to the 16-yard line. Allende, once again, trying to cut, does break the tackle and does get out of bounds at the 15. That'll be a first down.
There's a couple more teams here. Boys soccer with the captains for the fall, Joseph Goodzak, Jesse Stabinski, and Anique Ray. Girls soccer, L.A. Liberto and Gabrielle Sachs. They both play Piscataway tomorrow. Soccer, both soccer teams.
Inside handoff and getting down to the 1-yard line is Gerard Henry. My eyes were fooled with that. I thought Allende had the ball, and that bring up another first down. Now 1st and goal from the 1.
Girls volleyball, Jennifer Murphy, Sabrina Chang, and Caroline Caruso are the captains for that team.
Chris Klein under center. And a movement or across the line.
Yeah, they're saying offsides.
As East Brunswick came across. Just moves a couple of inches.
Yeah.
One of the rules I like in the Canadian Football League is that no matter what the penalty is, or it's at the 1.
Okay.
And then there's no movement if it's at,
Right,
offside.
right.
Just replay the down. Because you have a 1-yard neutral zone that you have to enforce.
This is pretty classy here by Sayreville. I think they're going to
Just
kneel it.
kneel and take.
That's really, a nice sportsmanship gesture there, which they don't have to do. They do have their substitutes in there, but that's pretty classy there.
Yeah, and with the time clock running, they'll be able to run the clock out with in this possession. Again,
right.
Yeah, again, a very classy move here because you have a coach who did not try to run any fancy plays, reverses,
right.
screens, passes. In fact, I don't believe Sayreville ran. They attempted maybe, but I think one time Hartsfield tried to pass. But Sayreville kept it on the ground, must have amassed close to 400 yards
I would
of
have
rushing
to think so.
here.
And just one final thing, too. I didn't get the girls cross-country captains, Kelsey McDonald, Sarah Frost, and Melody Fakhrizadeh. So sorry if I mispronounce any of those names.
And that will be the last play as time is running out here on the clock. They don't have to. They might have to kneel down one more time. I think the referee Yeah,
I think we're good. I think.
As time is winding down here. Final score, Sayreville 42, East Brunswick nothing. So East Brunswick has a week to kind of lick its wounds, find the answers it needs as it comes up against a Raiders football team from North Brunswick here at J. Doyle Field. I don't know what we can say. You can make a lot of excuses, and I don't know what Coach will say about this, but certainly,
Yeah.
Sayreville blocked, Sayreville executed, Sayreville came to play, and East Brunswick failed to tackle, failed to contain.
Yeah, and you hate to say, listen, Sayreville's just a better team, which obviously they are, but in terms of some of the stuff, you can't just say, well, a team's better, why play the game? So I think East Brunswick, obviously there's things that they need to work on, and being only the second game of the season, there's things they got to work on practice. So hopefully this will be a wake-up call a little bit. They'll go in the film room, they'll look at what they have to get better at, and some of the senior leaders on this team will pick it up for East Brunswick. So let's give Sayreville credit for a well-played game. They look pretty impressive. A couple really good backs in that backfield, but East Brunswick's got to be better in some areas, and I think they are going to be better.
We'd like to once again thank the EBTV technical crew for coming out and broadcasting East Brunswick High School athletics. They do a great job in all of the sports seasons. And remember, this game will be rebroadcast on November 28th as part of a marathon of East Brunswick High School fall athletics. For Richie Whalen, I'm Ken Saroka. Again, our final score here, Sayreville 42, East Brunswick nothing. Have a good evening.